We've all heard the saying, milk does a body good. But are the benefits of milk really that good? Hi, I'm Kaitlyn Howard from Hood County 4-H, and today we'll be diving into dairy and answering the question, should you keep dairy in your diet? Let's start by talking about some key points. First, we'll be defining the terms, then we'll be differentiating dairy, and then talk about dermatology, disposition, and disease. Then I'll give a few dairy consumption recommendations. Let's begin by defining the terms. First, we have dairy. This is any product containing or made from milk. We also have dermatology, which is the branch of medicine concerned with the diagnosis and treatment of skin disorders. Disposition, a person's inherent qualities of mind and character. Disease, a disorder of structure or function in the body. We also have acne, which is the occurrence of inflamed or infected glands in the skin. Rosacea, which is a condition in which certain facial blood vessels enlarge, causing redness. Hormone, a regulatory substance in the body. Casein, a slow-digesting dairy protein, which makes up 80% of all milk protein. And last but not least, we have leucine, which is a hydrophobic amino acid that gives energy to muscles and creates body mass. Now let's differentiate some of your dairy. When you go to the grocery store and get to the dairy section, there's so many labels and nutrition facts. It can be so confusing. So let's break all that down into simpler terms. We'll start with whole milk. Whole milk is milk where no fat is removed. Then we have 2% milk, which some fat is removed. 1% milk, where most of the fat is removed. And then skim milk, where all milk fat is removed. We also have organic milk, which is milk where the cows are fed no antibiotics or artificial hormones. Now that we've discussed all of that and differentiated some of these key terms, let's talk about how dairy really affects your body. We'll start with dermatology, how dairy affects your skin. Recent studies have shown that there is a strong connection between dairy and agitated skin. A dermatologist working out of Washington, D.C., dermatologist Avni Shah, was asked some questions about how skim milk affects your body. Now, she is quoted saying, "Increased sugars lead to a higher glycemic index. Food with this property are known for flaring acne. So, staying away from skim milk should help in part to control these flares." Another respected dermatologist Sarika Snell, was asked similar questions about how skim milk affects your skin. She answered, whey protein, which is specifically found in skim milk, is pro-inflammatory and can lead to inflammation, which can manifest as acne and rosacea. The dermatologist Sarika Snell was also quoted saying, cutting dairy improves skin texture, skin tone, and acne. Now that we've heard from these dermatologists, let's talk about the hormonal effects of dairy. Now, all cows have natural hormones, but some are even given artificial hormones by dairy farmers. These hormones, when ingested with our own hormones, can conflict and trigger acne because these hormones weren't made for us. They were made to nourish baby calves. Whey and casein are also both proteins found in dairy and cow milk. This product is made to stimulate calf growth, and again, was not made for people. Now, casein, which as I said earlier, makes up 80% of all dairy protein, can cause imbalances in your own hormones and trigger acne. We also have the substance IGF-1, which is an insulin-like product. Recent studies have shown that when IGF-1 is ingested and mixed with our own hormones, it can cause breakouts. Now that we've talked about how dairy affects the skin, let's move on to disposition, how dairy affects your mood. Is dairy what's making you moody? Let's talk again about casein. Now, casein is very important, but studies have shown that casein is linked to addiction. Now, a simple example of this, since casein is found in milk, is that the more milk you drink, the more you'll crave it, due to this casein product. Now, this really is not good for you because casein has also been found to be linked to aggression, depression, anger, and even anxiety. Now, this is because casein is so hard for the body to digest that it upsets your gut health, which upsets your brain health. This, in turn, signals the brain to an uptick in anxiety. Let's discuss disease and how dairy affects your bodily health. From dairy to disease. Now, all milk contains fat, except for skim milk because all of the fat is removed. But in all the other milk, it possesses saturated fat, which really is not good for you because recent studies have shown that saturated fat is linked to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and even Alzheimer's disease. This dangerous fat also leaves an increased risk of breast, ovarian, and prostate cancer. Let's also talk about leucine, which was that amino acid that I mentioned earlier that helps body mass and regulate your muscle growth. Well, this amino acid is one of the main reasons why milk is labeled as a recovery drink for athletes, because it helps stimulate that muscle growth. But leucine really isn't all that good for you. Studies have shown that leucine give you an increased risk of insulin resistance, fat formation, and leptin resistance. All three of these things combined can lead to obesity and type 2 diabetes. Let's discuss dairy consumption recommendations. How much dairy should you be drinking? Let's start with our daily dose of dairy. If you go to the website choosemyplate.gov and enter in your height, your weight, your daily activity level, it will give you some good guidelines for a healthy diet that's right for you. Now, for someone like me, you would need 3 cups of dairy daily to maintain a balanced diet. There are some ways to get this daily dose of dairy other than just drinking milk, such as dairy products like cheeses, cottage cheese, sour cream, or even yogurt. I know I've talked about a lot of the negative connotation that dairy offers the body, so let's focus on a little bit of the good. One of the redeeming qualities of dairy products is calcium. Calcium is very important as it gives you good bone health and makes sure your bones aren't brittle or frail. This is especially important for athletes. Now, the body needs 300 milligrams of calcium per cup of milk. Now, every day, you need about 1,000 milligrams of calcium. This relates to our 3 cups of milk, which is just over 1,000 milligrams of calcium. Let's talk about some dairy alternatives for those who are opposed to dairy because of all these negative connotations, but still want the benefits such as calcium or casein or leucine products. There are alternatives such as supplements. Most calcium supplements or other protein supplements can be found at any drugstore or pharmacy area. Let's conclude with one final dive into dairy. In conclusion, drinking dairy is okay for you, but only in a reasonable amount. It's all up to you and your personal preference. Some live a life free of dairy, but some love to consume it. It's all up to you. It's your choice to decide what nutritional benefits you want from your food. But I know that I'll be more cautious when I'm taking my daily dose of dairy. Thank you.